Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the public defender to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. So now I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. I will solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. LaShondra Hart. Morning, Ms. Hart. What's your date of birth?
May 31st, 77.
All right. Charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
1997, leave the scene of an accident with injury. She got FTA on that. 1997, sort of check fraud. Was a conviction. She also got an FTA on that. 1998, robbery with a firearm conviction, possession of cocaine conviction. Looks like she went to DOC for that. 2013, felon possession of a firearm, which is no prost. Back in January of this year, DUI arrest with possession of cannabis and paraphernalia out of Pasco. Not sure what happened with that case. That's all I can confirm this morning, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Hart, I have an address for you on Central Ave in Tampa. Is that where you live?
Not exactly, no.
Okay.
I'm at
Where exactly do you live?
17909 Dakota Ave, Hudson, Florida.
Okay. How long have you been there?
3 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
Set your bond at $500. We're going to have you back in court on the 20th of June. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Sir.
Thank you. Deborah Rusin. Morning, Deborah. What's your date of birth?
9866.
All right, Deborah, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Toner, and he found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to hire private counsel. You're going to represent yourself. Would you like the public defender?
Private counsel.
Very good. All right, Judge Toner set your bond at no bond. I can't change that. I'm going to change the date. They told you the 26th. I'm going to have you back in court on the 18th of June. So when you contact your private lawyer, make sure you tell them that date's on June 18th. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Danielle Shafritz. Morning, Danielle.
Hello.
Date of birth?
10/25/77.
Danielle, the charges I have this morning are possession of methamphetamine and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
What's up in there?
I'll appoint the PD. And At the jail, I know Danielle had a capias, and actually the PC affidavit mentions the capias, but I don't have that in front of me. Did that get served on her, or did she have a first appearance yesterday, or what happened?
No, she did not go to first appearance yesterday. I'm not showing anything with the new cases being served yet.
Okay. Well, she's got an FTA on a Dwellis in front of me that should be served, so you can do that sometime today. That'd be great. All right, State, what else can you tell me?
That's all we're showing, Judge. Just
That Dwellis.
pending charge with the
Okay.
Dwellis.
All right, Danielle, where you been staying lately?
I don't have a specific place.
Okay. You have a job these days?
I work for myself.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave the bond on the methamphetamine at $2,000, on the paraphernalia at $1,000, so it's a total of $3,000. You'll be back in court on this on the 26th of June, and my guess is they'll serve that capias on you today, and we'll have you back tomorrow morning for first appearance on the FTA on the driving charge, okay? Thank you. Nina Waddy? Morning, Miss Waddy. What's your date of birth?
9/11/84.
All right, Nina, I have 5 charges this morning: 2 counts of ag assault, 1 count of bird dwelling, 1 count of bird conveyance, and 1 count of possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
2007 Grand Theft Auto, which is no pros. 2007 possession of cocaine. Looks like she got a withhold. Looks like she also bopped. And a criminal mischief in 2015 with no resolution. So I have to confirm this morning, Your Honor.
And Nina, I have an address for you on Campbell Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 2.5 years now.
Okay. And does Miss Bird live there as well?
Off and on.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I lost my job a month ago.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do, Nina. On the 2 ag assaults, I'm going to set your bond at $2,500 each. On the bird dwelling at $5,000. On the bird conveyance at $5,000. On the marijuana at $1,000. That's a total of $16,000. Condition of those bonds is that you'll have no contact with Miss Bird until these cases are resolved. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, don't contact her through any social media, don't have a third person contact her, don't go where she lives, don't go where she works, don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bonds will be revoked and you will be held without bond until these charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She might tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, I've got to hold you at the jail today up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as that home on Campbell goes, if Miss Bird decides that she is going to stay there, you'll have to stay somewhere else until this case gets resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to stay. But to accomplish that, you'd have to contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who'd stand by while you collect your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 26th of June. It's very important that if you get out, you contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
David Hopsgarden. All right, David, what's your date of birth?
10/5/57.
All right, David, the charge is ag assault, and Mr. Lehman, have you read the PC on this one?
I have, Judge.
Sir.
You got an argument on it? I mean, here's my problem. The actions described in the PC, absent the context of an argument, are nothing. If I point a gun at someone, the context doesn't matter. It's an ag assault all day long. Even if I'm laughing at you when I do it and you're laughing, it's still an ag assault. My intention today is not to find PC, but to hold for 24 hours to see if I can get some additional facts. It doesn't say that he said anything. It doesn't say that he did anything. It still strikes me as a serious situation. But the PC is pretty sparse.
Judge, your comments are well taken. I'm going to go ahead and contact this deputy, and we
See what
appreciate
you
the
can
24
find.
hours.
All right. So, David, this morning I'm finding there's no probable cause based on the affidavit I have, but I'm going to hold you today for 24 hours, and actually. Apparently, there's no allegation that this is domestic either, because they set a bond on it. That might be something to find out too. I'm not gonna do anything with your case today, David. If you're still here in 24 hours, then we'll readdress probable cause. It may be that there is no probable cause, and in that case, you'd be released on your own recognizance. But we'll give them 24 hours to come up with additional facts to convince me that there's probable cause for this crime. All right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Edgar Guzman.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Edgar. What's your date of birth?
12/22/67.
Edgar, I got a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Republic Defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD.
Your Honor.
1994, aggravated stalking, which he later violated his probation on. 1996, out of Miami-Dade, aggravated stalking and violation of DV injunction, both convictions. Looks like he went to DOC for that. 1998, petty theft, conviction. 1998, resisting without violence. 1999, petty theft, so withhold. 1984, out of New York, criminal possession of a weapon. Looks like he pled to attempted assault with that. 1984, out of New York, using transportation without paying, which is a conviction. 1984, out of New York, possession of cannabis. 1988, out of New York, robbery, which is a conviction. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
Edgar, I've got an address for you on Arrow Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you lived there?
We purchased the house in 2012.
All right. And Brandy lives there as well?
Yes, Your Honor. We're married with 2 kids.
Okay. And you have a job these days?
Yes, Your Honor. I work at Bainett Point Regional Center.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a CNA there,
Okay.
and I'm also going to school, Pasco Hernando, for surgical tech.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be at work today.
Okay. I understand. This is how these things go. All right. Edgar, I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that until this case gets resolved, you're not going to have any contact with Brandy. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I say, Your Honor, I don't have nowhere to go. That's my only house. And I don't have nowhere to go.
Okay.
We bought the house. The house is under my name.
Edgar,
I'm the priority.
Edgar, listen to me. I understand all that, okay? This happens all the time with these kind of cases, but there is no option for me. The law requires me to set the conditions that I'm setting on a case like this. So I understand that it's difficult, but I also understand that there is no option, okay? If she's there, you can't go there, and it sounds like she's going to plan to stay there. So you have to find someplace else. I don't know what to tell you, but you've got to find someplace else. And the next thing you're going to ask me about is the kids. And I'll tell you this, that it probably is unlikely that you'll be able to arrange visitation with your children without violating my no contact order. If there is some way, you certainly can do that, but the onus is on you. That's all on you. All right? And if you do something that violates my order, then you're not going to have to worry about having some place to stay, because you're going to stay at the jail without bond until this case gets resolved. These are all very harsh conditions, but this is what the law requires in a case like this. So you have to pay attention, and you have to do what I'm telling you to do, which is to not have contact.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm also going to hold you today up until 4 p.m., so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. If you get out and you want to go to the house to get some things for wherever you find to stay, you can do that, but you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on the 20th of June. Very important, Edgar, that when you get out, you contact the PD's office so they can get started for you, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joshua Johnson. Morning, Mr. Johnson. What's your date of birth?
8/18/92.
All right, Mr. Johnson, I have 3 charges today. I have driving on a suspended license and causing death. I have a negligent manslaughter and a driving an unregistered motor vehicle. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
A public defender.
Appoint the PD state.
Other than his current pending charge, Judge, he has nothing before that.
Okay. And the bonds here all say 0, but these must all have a schedule.
I'm guessing that they're saying 0, Judge, because they're anticipating an RCO. State would be asking for that this morning.
And that you'll get.
As for the bond schedules, I didn't have a chance to look up the others, but I know that the culpable negligence one was $30,000, Judge.
Okay, hang on. Look, I got them right here. Yep. Looks like it's 10 on the dwells. All right, and Joshua, pardon me, I have an address for you on Fort Myers Street. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
About 15 years.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Landscaping, Yard Sharks landscaping.
Okay. Okay. On these charges, I'm going to set the bond on the driving on a suspended causing death at $10,000, on the culpable negligence at $30,000, and on the unregistered motor vehicle at $1,000. That's a total of $41,000. Those are coming back June 26th. The other thing we're going to do is that you had a pending case in front of me, 17 CT 3419. Job number 1 when you have pending criminal cases is don't pick up new criminal cases. So,
Yes.
pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond in that case. Joshua, you'll be held without bond at least until the 19th of June, which is in that case we'll be back in court. Between now and then, of course, the public defender will be out to see you to come up with a plan on that one and to come up with a plan on the more serious charges that you have in circuit court, all right?
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And Gary Villeneuve. Morning, Gary. What's your date of birth?
7/15/89.
All right, Gary, I have two charges today. I've got felony domestic battery by strangulation and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Defender.
I'll appoint the PD state.
2015 DeWillis, 2016 petty theft conviction, 2016 an FTA, 2016 looks like he violated his New York parole. As for New York, I'm the judge.
That's the case. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Out of New York in 2011, petty theft. 2011, burglary. 2014, burglary. 2011, out of New York, grand theft. So a conviction. 2014, petty theft. 2012, trespass. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
All right. Gary, I have an address for you on Spring Hill Drive. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
Been there on and off since about 2014,
Okay.
2015 time.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do. I actually just started back with my boss last Tuesday.
What are you doing?
I laid brick and pavers.
Okay.
We're actually behind 3 jobs right now. We're trying to finish up this week.
Okay. All right. And we confirmed that he has an open CT case in front of Judge Rupie, right? Okay. Yep. Yes. All right. So, Gary, here's what we're going to do on the new charges. The first one, the felony domestic battery charge, I'll set the bond at $2,500 on the paraphernalia at $500. That's a total of $3,000. Condition of those that you'll have no contact with Mark. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes.
And you understand that?
That's what I was. Yes,
Okay.
So I was wondering if I could be RR, because I have no one to help me on the outside there, and I can work every day.
Okay,
and
Gary.
I have other places I can go to.
Gary, let me give you the bad news. Not only you're not getting an ROR on those charges, you're not getting out today because you have an open case already. And as you just heard me explain, job number one, it looks like you have a traffic case in front of Judge Rupie.
Oh yes, that's one reason why I want to be like RR, because I didn't get arrested or nothing like that.
I understand. I understand exactly how it works, Gary. So here's what's going to happen. It's $2,500 and $500 on the new cases. They're coming back on the 26th. On your old case, which is 18 CT 1661, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release. We're going to hold you without bond until the 15th of June, which is when you're going to be back in court on that charge. If the public defender wasn't already appointed on that case, I'll appoint him now, so they'll come see you to see if they can work that out, because if they can get that worked out, you might be able to get out. But these are not the kind of charges where you can get an ROR even if you had no record at all, so that's not going to happen, and you're going to be in jail until the 15th of June or until they get that case worked out that you have in front of Judge Rupie, all right? Thank you.
Yep.
Good. Thanks, folks.